A very good morning and welcome to MIMOS Talk Series. Today we'll be looking at photonics in medical devices. Very interesting topic to see how photonics is revolutionizing the current practices in the medical industry. It's my honor today to introduce our speaker, one Zalhan Yusof. She is currently a senior staff researcher and head of photonics technology lab in MIMOS Berhad. She is responsible for related research and development of photonics-based sensors with primary emphasis on applied near-infrared technology in biomedical, food safety, and environmental applications. She has more than 25 years experience, of which more than 14 years in fiber optics manufacturing and 5 years in quantum cryptography, communication, and network. For the past 7 years, she continued her roles to lead research on blood glucose sensor project in MIMOS. With that brief introduction, let's get Puan Zalhan to present. Over to you, Puan Zalhan.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Lawrence, for the opening. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm going to talk about photonic in medical devices, revolutionizing the current practices. Basically, I'm going to cover some introduction and latest activities by Photonic Technology Lab MIMOS, since we are into biomedical sensor for the past 11 years. So manipulation. Properties of lights include reflections, refraction, scattering, how the light scatter, emission, diffraction, and also interference, overlaps of lights. The term photonic develops in 1960s when practical semiconductor light emitter were invented, and also optical fiber developed in 1970s. In modern optics, photonics is related to quantum optics, optomechanics, optoelectronics, electro-optics, and also quantum electronics. The term photonic is more specifically relates to the property of the lights, the particle property of lights, a potential of creating a signal processing device technology using photons, the practical application of optics, and analogy of electronics. So in photonic, we are looking at a spectrum of lights, but in MIMOS, our activity are focusing with near-infrared region, visible, and also ultraviolets. Photonic has ubiquitous of area in application. It includes areas from our everyday life to the most advanced in science. So these are some of the photonic application in lighting, in telecommunications, metrology, manufacturing. But today, I'm going to talk about more on photonics application in medical field, but specifically in medical devices development. So what is medical device? Medical device, a global definition for medical device is difficult to establish because there are numerous regulatory and worldwide that overseeing the market and of medical device itself. So some said medical device include the accessories come with it. Some said it includes also the drugs and all. So it depends on the country how they define it. So in Wikipedia, it says a simple term, a medical device is in any device intended to be used for medical purposes. So medical device benefit patient by helping healthcare providers diagnose and treat patient and helping patient to overcome sickness or diseases. Thus, we use medical device to screen, to monitor our health condition, and later we can improve our quality of life. So, photonic technology in medical devices. Okay, people are talking about going small, go home, go for the most convenient. So, if we look at a medical device industry rapidly growing area of opportunity in optics and photonics, we look at blood glucose, for example. We used to have blood glucose, what we call it dextrometer. We use a strip, a needle to prick and all that, and then it becomes smaller, which the meter just use a microliter of blood to test your glucose level every day, or maybe with plasma glucose, you test more blood will need. And then with current developments and medical device using photonic, we are looking at non-invasive techniques. So another example of revolution currently worldwide is on the thermometer. We used to have thermometer put in our mouth to measure our temperature, and then later they come up with put it into ears. And then with the current COVID-19, we see that the thermometer, we just need to shine it to our forehead, then we get the readings. So another revolution that we can see obvious is in the medical industry, like in the dentistry industry. We are using lights, UV lights, to cure the fillings. Now we are also looking at reducing techniques of monitoring or screening our health by using blood. So we're looking at non-invasive, non-destructive, and also non-intrusive. So it is everybody's dreams. Somebody would like to have something like tricorder in Star Trek. We see this movie was first filmed in 1979, and then the latest was in 2016. And they also have magazine and TV series on this. In Star Trek, we can see that they use what they call it tricorder. This tricorder can scan everything. That is what everybody's dream. It has 3 modules, general purpose for medical screening and also for engineering, that they use to make a detailed examination of living, testing their ship and all that. So this is everybody's dream. So will this be materialized? So it will one day. So revolutionizing the current practice, we are looking at a technology that maybe become a disruptive innovation. Maybe it will change totally how we are doing things, how we do health screening and all that. So looking at this, we are focusing more into the medical devices development using lights. So MIMOS role. Okay, MIMOS is a Malaysia technology hub and drivers for innovation, and we are committed to serve 3 specific target group. First is raising the nation's competitiveness. MIMOS contributes to Malaysia in IP intellectual property, thus improving our place in world ranking. And it's also enhancing people quality of life. MIMOS R&D program respond to the real needs of society, because we are getting issues that need to be solved by the society. And then we also, our target group also is to support the industry. We will grow industry. That means we will come up with the technology, and then we will engage industry to further develop and go into the market. MIMOS support local companies by means of globally relevant technologies. So, as shared by my colleague in 2 weeks ago, MIMOS Talk, MIMOS is a Malaysia technology hub and drive of innovation. The technology trust area, there are 12 technology trust area, and then Photonics is one of those that MIMOS is actively into it. Okay, I'm going to share more about Photonic Technology Lab in MIMOS. We are doing applied R&D in photonic sensors in few different field of application, which they are biomedical, meaning most of our activities involve in R&D in medical device itself, and also collaborate with university that have come up with fundamental, and then we work with them to develop further and then to the market. Now we are also into agriculture application, where we work with, we are getting inputs for what we call issues that to be solved and all that. Then we come up with a solution working with the industry and all that in agriculture application. We also doing some photonics sensors in civil structure. We coming up with sensors that can monitor and wirelessly transfer the data for seismic monitoring, for bridges, for structures, for building and all. So in Photonic Technology Lab, MIMOS, our capabilities focus on the spectroscopy in near-infrared region, and in ultraviolets, and also visible length of light. We are also into optoelectronics and also into optomechanics, optochemicals, chemometric and spectrum, and also processing. But what we are doing, okay, these are some activities in our lab, showing how we do some investigation of new issues that we are getting. We see whether we can proceed or not. We do some studies in lab scale. So MIMOS photonic R&D in medical device technology. The scope of work include sensor design and architecture, identify optics component and light spectrum that we are going to use for the certain medical device that we identify. We do a study and light manipulation to collect the signal, sample characterizations, spectrum processing and algorithm development, optoelectronic and firmware design and architecture, and also optomechanic study, meaning that if we come up with the device and setup and all that, we also looking at how to package it, how to make it into a real device, into a prototype level. So the first medical device revolutionizing the activities in our lab is the blood glucose monitoring device. As current practices of measuring blood glucose that I did say a little bit earlier, for example, for diabetic patients that need to monitor 3 times a day and all that, they need to prick their finger. They need to come up to withdraw, to put some microliter of blood into a strip. And for plasma testing, they need to withdraw maybe 1 test tube of blood. This is some example of current practices. And then, as you know, the motivation of me doing this back in 2011, the motivation was we see some trend that in Malaysia, we have about 3.6 population with diabetes. This was back in 2017 data. So as it's shown here by Vitromax, we are the Malaysian, 1 every 6 with diabetes in Malaysia, they die also because of the heart disease. So these are non-communicable disease that we need to control. So we come up with a medical device. We come up with a device that will make people easy to monitor their blood glucose every day, and also for people who are afraid of needle, so they can also monitor their blood glucose every day without cause any pain and all. So we come up with what we call non-invasive blood glucose monitoring. There are three major property of this device. This is the device that we come up with. We have placed this at Hospital University Kebangsaan in collaboration with OSA Technologies Sdn Bhd and also with Hospital University Kebangsaan Malaysia. What are the property of this medical device, of this non-invasive blood glucose monitor? First, the property is non-destructive, meaning that we evaluate the property of sample and not causing any damage to the sample itself. For example, current practices, if we take the blood into a tube, we need to apply some reagent to make sure that the blood didn't coagulate and all that. So with this technology, we are not dealing anymore with blood, with withdrawal of blood. So we keep hygiene, we keep contagious from disease from blood contagious and all that. So another property is non-intrusive and pain-free. The light also will not cause any heat to your finger and all that. Although it's a near-infrared light, it is we know that the property of near-infrared is it is with heat, but the heat is not that you feel like burning sensation and all that. It is a pain-free monitoring with minimal risk of infection. And it is also non-invasive. It does not require any penetration to the sample by cutting or piercing. So these are some activities. We study first the spectrum of glucose in the lab, and then we study if we shine into our skin, what will happen. And then we also study which part of the body that will give the best results. And also we also did some animal testing with our collaborator back in 2013. We managed to get animal ethic approval in collaboration with Cyberjaya University of Medical Science and also with University Putra Malaysia. We test with rats to see whether the light that we shine into skin will give any side effect or not. So we also managed to get human ethic approval with health medics and also OSA to conduct a clinical trial in a clinic in Cheras and also in HUKM. So later, in 2018, we also managed to get another human ethics approval to perform a clinical trial at University Kebangsaan Malaysia. So this is basically another revolutionized techniques of having blood glucose monitor every day without cause any pain. So the second revolutionizing activities in medical science that we develop in MIMOS is what we call dental DSPP detection. This we collaborate with UKM dental faculty, and then we as a current practice, if we need to test DSPP, before that I explain first what is DSPP. DSPP is a protein that produced by our teeth when it moves. So when it moves, there's some protein, people especially with braces, when the teeth move, more than it's supposed to move during braces application, it will produce some protein that will cause later tooth to drop and all that, resorption of tooth. So current practice, they are using ELISA technique. That means you have to take the DSPP, take the sample of the DSPP, and then you have to go to the lab, test, and it takes time. So how conventional ELISA tests have a drawbacks in their requirement of time to test, expensive equipment, and also they need expertise in the operation of the ELISA. But with this technique, we are looking at to reduce time. We can test it on site. Then we can produce result in situ, meaning that detection of protein-based agent that contribute to tooth resorption on basis application. The features include detection of using spectrum, multiple wavelength, absorber methods, direct detection, non-invasive, and it will cost you less than a minute. So this is another revolutionizing activities in medical device that we are doing in MIMOS. So the next one, I'm going to talk about another activities is we are doing some quantifying method for mild cognitive impairment. So mild cognitive impairments later will develop as Alzheimer's diseases. So development of FNRR portable system for neuroimaging analysis through hemodynamic study in brain. I mean, we study oxygen mapping in brain. Neuroimaging analysis performed for screening of mild cognitive impairment and also Alzheimer early detection. So we did this with Rumah Orang Tua Cerdas. We did some study with collaboration also. We also have a collaboration with university partners. For this project, we have partnering with UITM, Puncak Alam. We get some ethics also there to conduct this study at Rumah Orang Tua Cerdas. The method of study is current practice. They use questionnaire to quantify people with MCI or Alzheimer. So they throw question, the patient will answer. But with this, we can verify this by quantifying level of MCI. We need to come up with the algorithm that can read the spectrum or the oxygen mapping in brain to quantify what is the stages of the MCI or Alzheimer disease by the patient. Okay, the fourth revolutionizing activities that we are doing in Photonic Technology Lab, MIMOS, is on the muscle oxygen mapping for sport science. As we can see the oxygen mapping in brain, we also have a tool that can monitor muscle oxygenation in muscle. We are dealing with a behavioral aspect of exercise, and sports include a learning aspect. Hold on. We can do athlete profiling, heart rate variability, and baseline aerobic and anaerobic baseline with some photonic technology techniques. So current approach is it will be based on intense work of regime. I mean, the coach will see how the trainee doing, and based on their perception on it, whether the training is overdue or just adequate or not enough. So observation still based on qualitative measurement. So we are targeting to optimize training. We have a lot of recovery analysis by monitoring the performance. I mean, the oxygen also. It will tell us when the muscles start to produce lactic acid that can cause injury to the what we call the sport people, the trainee. So training analysis, Photonic Technology Lab focus area will be in training analysis. We are monitoring the muscle analysis, aerobic and anaerobic analysis, and also HRV analysis. We customize spot training device, wearable device, and spot analysis smart bag. This is our target to assist in sport science activities, to monitor their what we call oxygen in what do you call it simple way, when the lactic acid start to produce. Okay, we are doing some activity on that. And then revolution number 5 activities in MIMOS Photonic Technology Lab. If we see now a current practice to measure vital signs, if you go to the clinics or hospital, of course they will check for your blood pressure, for your body temperature, and SpO2, I mean oxygen saturation in blood, and pulse rate. They're going to use different equipment, different device to get all these 5 parameters. What we are doing, the revolutionizing activity that we are doing, we are looking at all these parameters by using one single device and one point of measurement. Meaning at one place you can get all these parameter, this vital sign parameter. So as I say, we call it single measurement, multi-parameter, vital sign screening device. What we are having is we put it at the temporal here. We will measure all the 5 parameters, which is blood pressure, SpO2, pulse rate, respiration rates, and also body temperature at one go. Meaning that you will get all these parameters at one point, and also at less than a minute. So if you go to the clinic, you are no longer need to cuff your arm. You no longer need to put something on your finger to measure your SpO2 and pulse rate. We just need to use one device here, and you can monitor all the parameters, meaning that it either also IoT enabled, meaning that the data can be transferred to the cloud, and then you can get a trend of your health condition, meaning that how you are doing in everyday activity. I mean, in everyday. Every morning you can monitor it, and then you can throw it to the cloud, and later in 1 month you can plot all these parameters, and then the measurement will only take less than a minute with one single point. And then with what we call non-invasive technique, you don't need to draw any blood or press any blood or press any finger or press any arm to get all these parameters. Okay. Another activity that we have is we are doing what we call smart jewels. We come up with an accessories that caters for women needs, that can monitor some of the vital signs. For example, the SpO2 and pulse rate. It also can do step counts. And then it has some algorithm to calculate your calorie, your distance walk, and also your UV exposure. Meaning that if you wear these bangles, smart bangle, or this brooch, you can get UV index. If you go up, you can get your UV index reading, and then because it transfers to your mobile phone, you can get information what type of cream to use on your skin, so that you know, for example, now the UV index is about 6, so you have to apply cream of SPF 50. So for women, especially women, but currently men also are concerned on this, so that you can apply to your skin to protect your skin. You can use this bangle and then just walk free, and then if you see the index rise, you just bring your UV cream and then apply, especially if you go to the beach. So this is another activities we have that we call it will revolutionize the current practices that we are in our everyday life, everyday activities. So I'm going to play a video that shows activities in our lab on this medical device revolutionizing things. So we will do study in a lab first, the property of things that we are going to detect, for example, property of blood and all that. Okay, this is what we call functional near-infrared. That just now we come up with an algorithm that can quantify your what we call level of mild cognitive impairment, and later whether how far it is from developing Alzheimer. This is just showing some activities on light alignment in the lab. It is interesting if you can see light like this. So we also have some optoelectronic study, optochemical study. So this is showing that activities for the SPP detection in Faculty of Dentistry in UKM. So we study the SPP from saliva that we took from real patient. I mean, real people with braces. And then we have okay, these are on the back to the FNR oxygen mapping study. We put on the head with a 4-channel. So this is what we do, some troubleshooting and all before it becomes a real device, small device. And then oh, it not synchronized with my slides. Okay, okay, this is what we call a smart bangles. You see, we have light. We have a sensor there that can see what is the UV level, and then we can use our mobile phone because it's integrated to the mobile phone, and then you can see the level of UV index. And then if you walk, you can also count your steps, and also do some algo that can calculate your calorie burn and all that. Okay, sorry, because it's not synchronized with YouTube. Okay, we have here, Dr. Nur Hisham also tested our blood glucose, non-invasive blood glucose screening device in one of our showcase in University Malaya. So I'm going to go to the next slide. Okay, if you look, people are looking more into non-invasive technique. They don't want to, if can, they want to reduce the interaction or to touch the virus and all that. So the team is designing a face mask to produce a fluorescent signal when a person with coronavirus breath, cough, or sneeze. So another activities that we have that the world is looking now is to use ultraviolet germicidal radiation to detect virus in school. That means we can use UV to clean areas with to sanitize areas which we suspect with virus or bacteria. Through this method, ultraviolet light will be able to disinfect or contaminated public space to stop transmission of the virus. This is what the studies are now worldwide relates to COVID-19. So the coronavirus detection method combines optic and magnetic particle to reduce the diagnostic time from 1 hour to approximately 15 minutes. So this is worldwide activities. These are few activities, because I believe it's more. I captured that using photonic techniques in medical device area. Okay. Photonic technology laboratory activities that producing sensors in healthcare has been published in the Health magazine as the trend in health tech in 2019. I mean, our activities is really trending in 2016, that looking at less invasive testing devices. So before I end my presentation, this is just a tips for aspiring healthcare entrepreneurs. That these I use my colleagues' slide in MIMOS. So before it is about you know what you are doing first. You believe in what you are doing. Look before you leap. Expect some up and downs, because expect failure also. And then promote yourself. Cultivate existing context, recognizing the overcome your weakness, and of course, don't give up. Okay. I would like to thank some of the source and reference that I use in this presentation. These are the links that I took some of the photos and references. Thank you very much. And then this is I end my presentation with thank you. If you have any question, you can contact me by this email. And then this is my team, Photonic Technology Lab team. Thank you very much to Lawrence for question and answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Puan Zalhan, for the very interesting topic, and looking at the very interesting trends in healthcare, especially in medical science, and look at all the wonderful things you and your team have been doing, and together working with universities. It's very interesting to note all this wonderful development in medical science. And I think we have one or two questions for you. Would you please check your messages? It's sent to you.
Yeah. One question here that I would like to address from UKM, Dr. Suzy. She asked about any of success story from Malaysian researchers in photonics, that device that been used in Malaysia. So as of now, I don't know much about that, but our glucose, non-invasive glucose sensing device has been put in few places for trial, and I mean we use people with diabetic people diabetic patient go to the hospital and use our device for testing, and they contribute to our data spectrum to improve the algorithm. It has been placed at HUKM. It also was placed in a clinic in Bukit Jelutong and in Sunway Medical Centers, and also in few clinics in Cheras during clinical trial. As for other Malaysian researchers, we during exhibition, MITEC exhibition last year, the one person shared about their neural rubin. That means they detect level of for people with jaundice. They detect the what do you call sakit kuning tu. Okay, they come up with what they call neural. But I don't know how is it now. But that was last year when we met them at the MITEC exhibition. And then there is question also about hold on, I check the question.
It's okay, take your time.
What is the current stage of photonic medical device usage in Malaysia? This is from Multimedia University, Siti Azrida Ibrahim. Is being accepted and used in our hospital. As I mentioned earlier, we plan that it will be accepted. We are going through with the our SME that take up our technology or start technology. We together will further go for certification and all that. But it has been placed in few hospitals in Malaysia for clinical trial. Okay, another question is how do you intend to commercialize this idea? This is by Sukuma Subramaniam from Orissa International Cerebral High. Okay, Sukuma, how do you intend? Okay, actually MIMOS practices is we develop the technology with collaboration with university and all that. And then if we manage to make it success to a prototype device, we will engage with SME that interested with our technology, and we will further develop with them, and then they will manufacture and market it. So this is how we are doing now, that we engage OSA technology, OSA engage us, and then we go together for certification and all that. So pray for us, inshallah, it will become a commercial device soon. So I think I will take another question. Okay, can I run sample in order? Okay, this is out of, can I run sample in your lab? So besides doing R&D in medical devices, we also work with the university and all that. If they need us to do some setup for them to study materials and all that, which related to biomedical, agriculture, or civil engineering, that we work with UTM Malaysia. So I think that's all for now. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Puan Zalhan, for the very interesting topic. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you have more questions, you can always forward them to info@mimos.my, and also look at our social media platforms. We have all the new talk series coming up. Just take a look at that and get in touch with us. With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. And I wish you farewell, take care, and of course, kita jaga kita. Bye-bye. See you. Thank you, Puan Zalhan.